There are so many surprises when you work through a design project. I think regulations changing, and for international school context, the regulations are often in the language of the host country. So having someone in your team that really knows those regulations inside and out is really, really fundamental for the project being successful. If that's not something that you have, considering hiring a company that actually can act as that mediator who really knows those regulations. Because really what happens is during the summer when you go to renovate, you don't have a backup school or a backup plan. And so you need to know that you can trust in someone's asking the questions to make sure that you are going to be compliant, that when they come through to do that inspection, you're going to get it all ticked off so you can open your school in time. So I would say that that's one of the surprises, the updating and changing of regulations. The ever increasing costs is definitely another one for sure. Also, planning for the functional behavior changes. It's not enough to just have a vision for what you wanted out of the space. It's really, we found it was really important to be able to have the coaching conversations when it wasn't exactly what people had thought and why those decisions were made and what the hope is for the space. Sometimes with a design project, you can lean into what one individual in a section who works in that space really wants. And then in a few years' time, when they end up leaving your institution or your school, what you end up with is a space that was tailor-made for someone but doesn't work in the long time. As a school, we often only renovate, I don't know, maybe every 30 years, every 20, 15 years. And so you have to be prepared to live with it for a really long time. And in that time, your enrollments might fluctuate, all sorts of things might change. And so thinking about how the space is both flexible and creatively meeting your needs at that time are so important. I think it's important to also consider what a success for project or renovation would look like for you in your context. Really being clear about what you wanted out of the space and knowing whether or not that's been successful and if it's having the impact that you want. After each renovation project, we have had to do little tweaks. There were always things that you couldn't possibly foresee. And we've just come to realize that that isn't a fault in the design, but rather just part of that process. Really thinking about how you can help teams, maybe like a working bee to help unpack boxes, or everyone coming in on a weekend to really make sure you're ready for the school year, or being okay with it not being right from the very beginning, but knowing that it'll happen over time. Another thing that I think I would mention about through that process of after the build and what are you going to do with it is all the materials that you're no longer using. What are you going to do with them? Are you going to donate them? Is there a way to leverage that donation for something else the school needs? And really working with the board on that to consider what might be possible and what might the needs of the school be for the future are things to consider.